Warning. Tomorrow night, the sky goes dark in Taurus. The seed you plant changes the next 6 months. Tomorrow night, the moon disappears. At 9:02 in the evening Eastern Time on May 16th, the sky will go dark at 25 degrees and 57 minutes of Taurus, and for a few hours, the heavens will hand you something they only offer once a month. A blank page. No light, no reflection, no echo of what came before. Just silence and soil, and the question the darkness always asks. What are you willing to plant in ground you cannot yet see? This is the new moon in Taurus, and this one is not like any Taurus new moon you have experienced in the last 8 years. Because for the first time since 2018, Uranus is no longer in this sign. For 8 years, Uranus tore through Taurus like a plow through a field that did not ask to be turned. It disrupted your finances, your body, your sense of security, your relationship with what you own and what owns you. It shattered what felt permanent and left the soil raw and exposed. 3 weeks ago, Uranus left Taurus for Gemini. The revolution moved on. And now this new moon arrives on the freshly turned earth and says the ground is ready. What will you plant? But here is what nobody is telling you about this particular degree. 25 degrees of Taurus sits within 1 degree of the fixed star Algol. And Algol is not a gentle star. The ancient Hebrews called it Rosh HaSatan, the head of the adversary. The Chinese named it Tse She, the piled-up corpses. But the Greeks told the deeper story. Algol is the eye of Medusa, the severed head that Perseus carried after he cut it from the Gorgon's body. And Medusa was not always a monster. She was a priestess of Athena, beautiful and devoted, until Poseidon violated her in the goddess's own temple. Athena, rather than punishing the god, punished the woman. She turned Medusa's beauty into horror, her hair into serpents, her gaze into stone. Medusa became the face of a wound so deep that anyone who looked at it directly was destroyed by it. That is the star sitting 1 degree from your new moon tomorrow night. And what it means is this. The seed you plant in this soil is not a wish. It is a confrontation. Algol does not allow you to plant pretty intentions that wilt by August. It demands that whatever you place in this ground is strong enough to grow beside the truth of what you have survived. The easy sweetness is not available at this degree. What is available is something far more powerful. The resilience that comes from looking directly at the thing that was supposed to destroy you and choosing to build your garden there. Mercury sits conjunct the new moon at the same degree of Taurus. Your mind is sharp. Your thoughts are clear. The fog of the last several weeks has lifted because Mercury just passed through its Cazimi 2 days ago and is still carrying the sovereignty of the throne. Whatever you decide to plant tomorrow night, you will decide with precision. And Jupiter in Cancer forms a sextile to this new moon, holding the door open from the sign of nourishment and emotional abundance. The opportunity is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is a hand extended in the dark, waiting to see if you reach back. Your body has been preparing for this planting. Your hands have changed, a heaviness in the palms, a desire to press them flat against surfaces, against tables, against the earth, against your own thighs. Taurus speaks through the hands as a need for contact with what is solid. Your body wants to touch what is real because it knows the time for abstraction is over. Your appetite, a deep, slow hunger that is not about food, a craving for substance, for density, for something that will last. If you have been reaching for comfort this week, heavier meals, warmer blankets, longer showers, that is Venus, the ruler of this new moon, pulling you toward the sensory world. Your body is nesting. It is preparing the internal soil the same way the sky is preparing the external soil. Your jaw has softened. After weeks of Mars-Chiron tension clenching it shut, something released. You may have noticed it this morning, a looseness in the hinges, a yawn that came from deeper than usual. The jaw softens when the body stops bracing for impact and begins preparing to receive. That shift, from bracing to receiving, is the new moon arriving in your nervous system before it arrives in the sky. And your pace, everything has slowed, not fatigue, but gravity, as if the air around you thickened and your movements became more deliberate. You are walking slower, breathing deeper, pausing before you speak. That is Taurus arriving in your bones. The bull does not rush. The bull chooses its ground and stands on it. And once it stands, nothing moves it. Now let me show you where this seed falls. Because the new moon at 25 degrees of Taurus activates a specific house in your chart, and the soil in that house has been waiting for this exact planting. If you were born under Taurus or Taurus rising, this new moon falls in your first house. Identity. After 8 years of Uranus dismantling who you thought you were, the ground is finally still. The seed you plant tomorrow is the first definition of yourself that is entirely yours, not inherited, not imposed, not reactive. This is the most important new moon of your year. What you choose to become in this window will define the next 6 months and echo for years beyond. Scorpio or Scorpio rising, the 7th house. Partnerships. A new chapter opens in your closest relationship. Not a dramatic beginning, but a quiet one. The kind where two people look at each other across a room that has been rearranged by everything that happened this month and decide to stay. Or decide with equal honesty that staying is no longer the truth. Both are valid seeds. Leo or Leo rising, the 10th house. Career. The soil at the peak of your chart is ready. A professional seed planted tomorrow will grow slowly and stubbornly, and by November, it will be visible to everyone. This is not the moment for flashy ambition. This is the moment for the kind of ambition that digs in and does not leave. Aquarius or Aquarius rising, the 4th house. Home. Roots. The foundation of your inner world receives this seed. Something about where you live or how you live is ready for a quiet revolution. Not the Uranus kind, the Taurus kind, the kind that stays. Gemini or Gemini rising, the 12th house, the unconscious. The seed falls behind the curtain of your chart in the room you enter only in dreams. What you plant here you will not see growing for months, but it is growing. Set an intention for your inner life, your spiritual practice, your relationship with solitude. The 12th house rewards what is planted in faith. Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising, the 6th house. Daily routines, health, the body. A seed planted here tomorrow night becomes a habit by December. Not a dramatic overhaul, but a single consistent choice repeated until it becomes architecture. One routine, one commitment to your physical self. That is all this new moon asks. Aries or Aries rising, the 2nd house. Self-worth, money, value. After Mars conjunct Chiron cracked the armor of your identity today, the new moon plants a seed in the soil of what you deserve. The number you have been accepting is about to be updated. Plant the new one deliberately. Libra or Libra rising, the 8th house. Shared resources, intimacy. The financial or emotional exchange between you and another person receives a new beginning. Whatever has been hidden in this territory is ready for an honest foundation. The seed you plant here grows in the dark, but it grows strong. Cancer or Cancer rising, the 11th house. Community, the future. Jupiter sextiling this new moon from your first house means the door of abundance swings open through people. The right community, the right connection, the right collaboration planted now will bear fruit for years. Pay attention to who appears this weekend. Capricorn or Capricorn rising, the fifth house. Joy, creativity, romance. The seed is pleasure. Not earned pleasure, not productive pleasure, pleasure for its own sake. The new moon asks you to plant something that exists simply because it makes you feel alive. That is not frivolous. That is foundation. Virgo or Virgo rising, the ninth house. Belief, philosophy. The story you tell about why life works the way it does is ready for a new chapter. Plant a belief that matches the person you have become this year, not the person you were taught to be. Pisces or Pisces rising, the third house. Communication, words. The daily exchange of language that shapes your closest relationships. Plant a new way of speaking. One honest sentence repeated every day for 6 months will reshape the terrain between you and the people who hear your voice most often. Now here is what you do with this. Tomorrow evening, before 9:02 Eastern, find a piece of paper with weight to it. Something your hand can feel. Not a device, not a screen. Paper that remembers the pressure of your pen. Sit somewhere quiet and write one sentence beginning with the words, "What I am planting in this ground is." Let it complete itself. Do not edit. Do not make it beautiful. Make it true. Fold the paper once. Take it outside if you can. Place your bare feet on the ground for 60 seconds. Grass, soil, concrete, whatever connects you to the earth beneath you. Hold the folded paper against your chest with both hands. Feel the weight of what you wrote pressing against the place where your heart beats. Then place the paper somewhere you will not look at it for 6 months. A drawer, a box, a book you will not open until autumn. Not because the seed is fragile, but because seeds do not grow under observation. They grow in the dark. They grow in the weight of soil and silence and the slow turning of seasons that no amount of watching can accelerate. The Taurus New Moon understands patience the way a river understands stone. Not by fighting it, by wearing it smooth. On November 15th, when the full moon in Taurus arrives and lights up this exact degree, open the paper. Read what you planted, and look around at what grew. Some of it will surprise you. The seed you thought was about money may have grown into self-worth. The seed you thought was about a relationship may have grown into a relationship with yourself. Taurus does not give you what you ask for. It gives you what you planted. And what you planted is always truer than what you asked for, because the hand knows things the mouth does not. The ground does not care about your doubts. It only asks for the seed. And the seed does not need to be perfect. It needs to be placed, deliberately, in soil that has been waiting 8 years to receive something that was not planted in chaos, but in choice. Medusa's eye watches over this degree, and Medusa's lesson is not that the wound destroys you. It is that the wound, looked at directly, with courage, becomes the most fertile ground you will ever stand on. If something settled in your chest while you listened, write it below. The sentence you would plant, the seed you would choose. Your honesty becomes the soil for the next person who reads it. Subscribe and turn on the bell, because on May 17th, Mercury hits Uranus in Gemini, and the first signal of an 84-year revolution enters your mind. You will want to be here when the circuit powers on. The universe has spoken. What comes next is in your hands.